ordinary till you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is the story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Hello there, welcome to CoreTV News at 7. I am Gift Ogete. Members of the Chibok community in Abuja are not shocked by the latest Boko Haram attack on Damboa, a town located about 80 kilometers from Maiduguri, the Borno state capital. A representative of the community says at Friday's sit-out protest of the Bring Back Our Girls group that Boko Haram is almost totally in control of Damboa and its surrounding areas.
I'm sure it was reported here earlier, the attack on Damboa early this morning. In it, it was reported that the military tried twice to return to Damboa after they were dislodged by the terrorists last week, and they failed. They were repelled by the terrorists. The terrorists have taken over the road from Maiduguri to Damboa and by extension to Biu, and by extension up to Jos, because for our people in Borno, that's one of the ways. You cannot pass through Potiskum to Darazo to Bauchi. You cannot pass through Damboa to Biu, to Gombe, and to Bauchi, which is the major link to Jos. Some time ago, there was a fierce firefight between the military and these terrorists between Bauchi and Jos. Now that is very frightening. And the ring, the evil ring is going round and becoming tighter and tighter and tighter. There is no flight to Maiduguri.
Our girls movement are not convinced about the federal government's sincerity on the $1 billion it is seeking for the war against insurgency. They also want the government to withdraw the image laundering contract awarded to a US-based public relations outfit. Lewick political activist Dino Maleye stated the group's position in an interview with CoreTV News in Abuja.
What I would just say is that we do hope that the presidency will raise this money and use it for the purpose for which they've asked that the money be raised. And the president should start first by withdrawing the $1.2 million they are using for image laundry and use it for the purpose of rehabilitating the parents and the victims of this satanic mishap. I do not believe in the transparency of government. This government has failed us in many instances. So I want to believe that the rehabilitation of this guy should be driven by the private sector.
In a related issue, a public affairs analyst Dikbo Olayokun has discouraged the idea of seeking the $1 billion loan to fight terrorism by President Goodluck Jonathan. Olayokun says the funds could be generated in Nigeria if leaders set their priorities right and desist from mismanagement of public funds.
I think there's a need for them to go and do their mathematics, let them look inward, because if you are taking loans, you are mortgaging the future of the current generation. Because this loan will be repaid maybe years back, after this government might even have left the scene, and Nigerians that are coming will be made to pay this loan back. I think they shouldn't go for this loan. Let them look inwards, harness resources within, and we'll be able to raise this money. After all, they have just left this man off the hook, Abacha's son, because they said there's a promise that the money that they looted, that they will be able to bring it back to Nigeria. We can take from this money, from this Abacha loot. There are so many things we can use to raise this 160 billion naira so that we don't go for this foreign loan.
Alleged serial fraudster Fred Ajudwa has lost his bid to stop his trial for allegedly defrauding a former chief of army staff, Ishaya Bamai, of $8.39 million between November 2004 and June 2005. The Lagos Division of the Court of Appeal dismissed Ajudwa's application challenging the competence of the charge and the jurisdiction of the Lagos High Court. Ajudwa, who was arraigned on a 14-count charge of obtaining by false pretense, had filed notice of preliminary objection in which he argued that the proof of evidence did not disclose any case against him. Justice Atinuke Ekpaye had dismissed the objection, but Ajudua subsequently appealed against the decision of the trial court. At the hearing of the appeal, he contended that the lower court, when it held that he could be tried on the repealed Advance Fee Fraud and Other Related Offences Act in 1995. He also maintained that the proof of evidence did not support the charge, but in a unanimous ruling, the Court of Appeal affirmed the decision of the trial court that the charge was competent. In spite of opposition from the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Nigeria is on the verge of having an autonomous financial intelligence center. This was after the Senate passed the bill setting up the center this week before going on recess. Although the EFCC is opposed to an autonomous center, Chairman of the Senate Committee on Financial Crime says it's a well-thought-out move.
EFCC, which by law is an enforcement agency, is also saddled with the responsibility of collecting information, which necessarily can be useful to other agencies. If something is in my pocket and you ask me for it, I can only bring it out at my own discretion. Do you agree with me? Good. So, before now, information at the disposal of EFCC were only accessed by the agencies at the discretion of the EFCC.
The strike embarked upon by the Judiciary Staff Union of Nigeria is already beating harder. The development has left courts across the country underlocked and deserted. Oluwaseyi Adegoke visited some courts in Lagos and returned with this report presented from our studios.
The situation at the Lagos High Court and the Federal High Courts both in Ikeja tells the story as activities remain paralyzed following the ongoing strike by the judiciary workers. The union is protesting the federal government's non-compliance with the orders of the court on financial autonomy and independence of the judiciary. A Lagos-based lawyer, Justice Ihuegbu, says the industrial action is wrongly timed.
It's so unfortunate in Nigeria that Nigerians wake up one day and discover that one body or the other is on strike without adequate notice, without adequate information, without carrying people along. No, does it mean the union do not have a public relations department that should sensitize people? At least the doctors even went on a warning strike before embarking on this one, but there was nothing such. And my problem is that these are the two major key sectors in the country: the medical association and the judiciary. And once these two bodies are dormant, the country cannot move forward.
He added that the strike has paralyzed activities in courts across the country.
As I speak to you now, so many people are lavishing in jail. People that are supposed to have given bail. What about people that have critical condition in various cells and prisons that need court order to be taken away from there and all the rest? Everything is grounded. It's affecting the poor masses directly. Because when you embark on strike, definitely you want to achieve a purpose. You have a target. Now your target, is it to punish the masses or to reach the government? If you want to reach the government, it's not by punishing the masses.
The Judiciary Staff Union of Nigeria, however, insists the strike is its last option to press home their demands.
Nigeria's prison authorities have promoted over 50 officers and men across the country. Some of the newly promoted officers were decorated with new ranks at the ceremony in Abuja. Comptroller General of Prisons, Zakari Ibrahim, used the opportunity to charge the promoted officers to rise up to the contemporary security challenges in the country. Pius Samuel reports.
These officers and men of the Nigeria Prison Service have been found worthy in the discharge of their duties. They have come from all parts of the country to be decorated with new ranks in Abuja. For this newly promoted Assistant Comptroller of Prisons in charge of Zone D in Mina, there is a lot more to be done in the next assignment.
As the society is evolving, crime is also evolving. Therefore, I see this promotion as a call to duty, as a call to spur me to explore the avenues and the techniques, modern techniques on handling crime, so that those of our brothers that are unfortunate to have gone against the law will be brought to rectitude.
The prison service has several challenges, but this officer is sure that the service has what it takes to overcome them.
Quite a number of challenges, because promotion goes with, greater responsibilities to ensure, greater security in my zone, in the prisons within my zone. So all these things are challenges. I know more is required of me, more is expected, and I need to arise to the occasion and to ensure that I do not disappoint.
As prison authorities continue to make sure that inmates are secured in the prisons, they also want those in charge of the judiciary to enhance speedy delivery of justice. Pius Samuel, CoreTV News, Abuja.
The Labour Party governorship candidate in the Osun August 9 election for Tai Akimbade has reacted to rumours circulating that he plans to step down from the forthcoming election. Akimbade told our correspondent Franco Malape why he left the PDP to contest on the platform of the Labour Party, adding that he is still very much in the race.
Talking tough on the coming election in the state, Akimbade says this is his fourth attempt at contesting elections, having been part of 4 different administrations in the state. He explains why he is contesting on the Labour Party platform.
I left PDP for me to be able to have a platform. Because I'm not just coming out like I told you now. I am like an household name. And so many people have seen an alternative, because people have been looking out for how do we get out of people here. The incumbent is there, people are already fed up. And the PDP too, the candidate that everybody saw as the party, the choice of some power that be in the party. So people are saying, look, is this the way this time? But my coming out has given everybody in the state a belief that yes, we now have a choice.
He debunked rumors of his plans to step down from the governorship race and declared his confidence of winning the August election.
Osun State people are highly intelligent and they are very, you can't play with people of Osun because they know what they want. So I am very, very confident that definitely I'm going to win the governorship election. Just precisely mathematically.
When prompted on what he would do differently from past governments, Akimbade says his plans to industrialize the state distinguish him from the pack.
There were 2 major programs I want to embark on. One, agriculture. We want to go back to the drawing board and see that agriculture is given the top priority. We already have what we call a free trade zone in Osun. That is where industries has to be, where to be sited. And that will help us to industrialize the state.
Meanwhile, the build-up to the election is on the rise. Frank Omalape, CoreTV News, Osogbo.
Still on Osun, the activities of the youth wing of the All Progressives Congress, otherwise known as State Boys in Osun State, have been causing more ripples between the ruling APC and its major opposition, the PDP. The APC claims the state boys have been law-abiding, even as the PDP insists that the group is another code name for armed thugs of the ruling party. Rashid took up the party chieftains in Osogbo. He filed in this report.
As arguments rage over their status and activities, the fact remains clear that state boys are actually in existence in the state and also card-carrying members of the All Progressives Congress. The deputy governorship candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Adejare Baldo, branded the state boys as thugs used by the APC in perpetrating violence. But the chairman of All Progressives Congress in Osun, B. Adelowa, however, countered Adejare's position.
The incumbent government is reiterating the state boys issue. There is nothing like state boys other than thuggery, and we will not allow that to happen.
The state boys are just youth wing of the party. They are not armed with anything. They follow us to police rallies to be part of the rally and as youth wing of the party.
Again, Adejare fires another salvo, accusing the APC of stockpiling arms and ammunition for use by state boys during the August 9 governorship election. This obviously did not go down well with Adelowo.
They are stockpiling arms. They have brought arms into this state to be used by state boys, and we will not take kindly to that. We pretend as if we don't know anything, but by the time security people arrive, we will let them know we know what is going on.
The state boys are not armed at all. They are not stockpiling any ammunition. The police will go and investigate.
The severity of the verbal war is not lost even on the ordinary political observer, as Bello vowed to use all means to check the activities of the boys, but Adelowo hits back and asks the PDP to look inwards.
Our own is to make sure we try to locate where they are and we point to them, the security agents. So if you hear hues and cries thereafter that they are arresting people,
don't just harass people and intimidate people unless they become allegations. Go to their houses, check if you see anything of them, then you can make a report. Nobody's going to find anything because that is what they do on their own.
As the brickbats continue between the two heavyweights, the governorship candidate of Alliance for Democracy, a former National Assembly member, Sunday Fajibi, says peace in Osun is being threatened by both APC and the PDP, and they must be called to order.
One has gone to train his thugs in Cuba. It's well known. The other one has trained locally. They bought guns and stored guns. I'm a marksman myself. I'm a licensed arms carrier. We know what is going on. Wasiu Ayinde was here. They vandalized his instrument. They killed 2 people. They went to Ife. They killed 5 people. When are we going to stop all this? I'm concerned because they killed my senior brother like that in 2003 when I was going for re-election. And when are we going to stop all this?
As clockwatch ticks towards August 9, security, in the words of the power, that will be tightened ahead the governorship poll. Rashid, CoreTV News, Osogbo.
Now to Ekiti State, as the proposed local council creation in Ekiti State continues to generate heat. The Ekiti State Independent Electoral Commission has fixed a date to conduct a referendum on the issue. The leadership of the commission addressed journalists in Ado Ekiti. Rashid again has the report.
Defying protests that have greeted the creation of additional 18 local council development areas from the existing 16 local governments in the state, the Ekiti Independent Electoral Commission has set out its guidelines for the conduct of the constitutionally required referendum in the 16 local governments where the new local councils will be carved out.
We are not to entertain these ones, but to forward them to the House of Assembly where they are going to take the final decision. It is not for SIEC to look into the agitations. The limit of our work is to do the referendum.
Law mandates SIEC to conduct referendum to ask the people whether they are in favor or against the creation of additional local government.
Adelusi explains that the commission has trained ad hoc staff for the smooth conduct of the referendum.
Concerning the case, even though no information was given to us from the plaintiff, we knew that the judgment had been decided in our favor, and that's what we are acting upon.
The Ekiti State PDP leadership thus expresses dismay on the development.
This SIEC is not known to law, and if they are now doing anything, it's an act of illegality. We have also gone to court again
stopping this recklessness and illegal action, illegal activity that will not stand the test of time.
Surely, the last may not have been heard of the dramas surrounding the local council creation. Rashid, CoreTV News, Ado-Ekiti.
The Director General of the Bureau of Public Enterprises, Benjamin Dickey, has urged Nigerians to be patient with government in its attempt at increasing power supply in the country. Dickey spoke with journalists against the backdrop of complaints that the power sector has not recovered sufficient difference even after it has been handed over to private investors. The power sector was handed over to private investors November last year with the aim of improving electricity supply to boost socio-economic development. The BPE boss also urged labor unions to desist from blaming the generation and distribution company of the delay in getting the desired results in the sector. He, however, noted that vandals had blown up gas pipelines supplying gas to power generation stations, but ordered that government was trying to fix the problem. You're watching CoreTV News at 7. We'll take this very short break. Stay with us.
CoreTV News now provide a platform for live coverage of political rallies and electioneering campaign from anywhere in Nigeria. Political news stories, political editorial reviews, political discussions, personality profile, People's Parliament from the National, State and Local Government Assembly. Contact us now on 0803-471-8550 or 0803-724-9733. 01453-3407.
Our 24-hour news station. You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then News. CoreTV News, our 24-hour news station.
And now to stories outside Nigeria. United Nations Secretary General Ban Ki-moon has called for full international investigation of the Malaysia Airlines disaster in East Ukraine. Ban Ki-moon says there is need for a full, transparent and international investigation. He offered condolences to the victims' families. Malaysian airline flight MH17 carrying nearly 300 people from Amsterdam en route Kuala Lumpur crashed earlier in rebel-held eastern Ukraine near the Russian border with Kiev, saying it was shot down in a terrorist attack. U.S. officials say it was shot down by a surface-to-air missile, but it was unclear who fired the weapon. Britain has also called for a UN-led investigation and is seeking an emergency meeting of the UN Security Council to discuss the crisis in eastern Ukraine.
With respect to the Malaysia Airlines disaster today in Ukraine, I'm closely monitoring the reports along with the International Civil Aviation Organization or United Nations agency. There is a clear need a full and transparent international investigation. I offer my deep condolences to the families and loved ones of the victims and people of.
That's our news for this hour. News at 7. Thank you for watching. Join us again. I am Gift Ogeta. Do not forget, at 5 it will be time for primetime news. Stay with us.